Welcome to July 26th. I'll start from 2017, work back to 2014, and take it from there. Some things should not happen, but they do. Those hoping for a fair trial and due process would be afforded George Pell regarding pedophile allegations have been disappointed. Pell is Australia's highest-ranked Catholic cleric. He had a court appearance today in which anonymous protesters have denounced Pell publicly to TV cameras seen around the world. However, there are suppression orders at play. Plenty of police were on hand, however, none of those showing contempt for the court were arrested. Pell cannot face a fair trial if anonymous denouncers are allowed to accost him publicly every time he goes to court. Some trolls are asking, where there is smoke, there is fire. Where did the mass denouncers come from? They could have come from Bill Shorten's office or from Australia's Human Rights Council. One held a placard with the convicted pedophile priest on one side and Pell's picture on the other. But the facts known to date are that Pell was the first Australian senior cleric to address pedophilia and help victims. All who have denounced Pell in the past have been found to have been mistaken or liars. Pell has declared he is not guilty and is going to defend himself. He has legal counsel and did not have to face court today, but did so, knowing the travesty of justice he would face. Victorian Premier Dan Andrews has protected activist vigilantes from police detaining and identifying them, so we do not know who has shown contempt of court or why. Clearly, now there is a threat to Pell's safety at future appearances. It seems like Pell is technically guilty of being a conservative, but nothing else. Matt Canavan has resigned from federal government ministry following revelations that he's a dual citizen. However, unlike the recent Greens' loss of 2 members, it appears Matt might be able to keep his seat. The Green members had been born overseas. They had failed in their due diligence. However, Canavan was born in Australia to Australian-born parents. He says he had not known his mother had made the arrangements when he was 25 years old. If that is the full fact and the Italian government recognizes the validity of the application, then Canavan can void it and retain his seat. Even if Canavan signed a document that had been misrepresented to him, he might still be allowed to retain his seat. Will Turnbull panic? If Canavan is rolled, then some bad scenarios arise for the Liberal Party because Turnbull declared at double dissolution that the most senior elected senators in terms of votes got a full term. Any replacement for Canavan would get a half term and an ALP member would get a full term. Turnbull is currently negotiating to get Senate terms lifted from 6 to 8 years. I had a situation that is salient. I was a foreign national permanent resident born in the United States at the time of Houston's unlosable election on GST. I wanted to support Houston. When I was 18, I was allowed as a foreign resident to enroll and vote. Bob Hawke got rid of that, but it is unconstitutional to disenfranchise. So anyone who previously voted or registered could continue to vote even if they were not a citizen. I went to an electoral booth and made inquiries about my status. I voted absentee and got my mail weeks later telling me I was not enrolled and my vote was not counted. However, unknown to me, the electoral officer who heard my story at that booth had asked me pertinent questions and I was legally enrolled from that time, even though my vote had not counted. When I moved, as I did often at that time, I did not tell the electoral office and I did not vote at subsequent elections. Eventually I was fined for not voting. I did not know or pay the fine. I was given a day in court but had not gone as I had not known. I was sentenced to a day's prison. Only after my car was stolen and I went to report it to the police did I find out about my predicament. I sorted it out with the electoral office by declaring my citizenship. At the time, that was sufficient for me to be a citizen. I have voted ever since. However, when Bob Carr became Premier of New South Wales, he destroyed all the paperwork regarding electoral offences. That included my citizenship declaration, and when I discovered that and needed to prove my citizenship, I found the laws had changed and I could no longer make the declaration. So I took the test.